Hello, Bulldogs. In today's lesson, you will be answering this question. Where do people in the United States, Canada, and Mexico live and why? And our objective is I can form conclusions supported by evidence about how the geography of North America influences population density. Before you actually begin, we need to review. If you remember, population density is how many people live in a certain area. It tells us how crowded a place is, and it is measured by how many people per square mile are in that location. So, high population density will be more crowded area, and low population density means not a crowded area. We also talked about the differences between urban versus rural. Urban describes areas with high population density. Urban areas are crowded cities with a lot of people. An example will be San Antonio, Mexico City, or New York City. Rural describes areas with low population density. Rural areas are typically called the countryside. For example, the hill country area that is not that far from San Antonio. To analyze how geography impacts population distribution, we will need to look at several types of maps. One of the maps you will look at is a political map. A political map shows boundaries or borders between countries, cities, counties, states, and provinces. For example, this is the North America political map, and you can see the countries of Canada, United States, Mexico, and some other countries as well. You can see the borders between them. And on this map, you can also see some major cities in each of these countries. Another map you will need to look at is a physical map. A physical map shows physical and geographic features such as mountains or elevation, lakes, and rivers. This is the North America physical map. The key gives you the elevation or how high the land is. You can also see the names of mountains. On the western side of the Canada and United States, you have Rocky Mountains. In Mexico, you have Sierra Madre Mountains. You can also see the squiggly blue lines, which represents the rivers. For example, the Mississippi River. You can also see the Great Lakes in this area. Bays, gulfs, plains are also going to be found on a physical map. You also need to look at a climate map. A climate map shows the climate zones of the region, and the key is important. It will tell you the name of the climates that are represented by a particular color. For example, green on the map means a rainforest climate. It will be hot and humid and a lot of rain. And finally, another map you will need in order to be able to master today's objective is population density map. A population density map shows areas with high or urban and low rural population density. Once again, the key is really important. So, for example, we notice that in Canada, there is low population density. They have between 0 to 1 people per square mile. As we move south to the United States and to Mexico, we can see that the population density is increasing. And we see that there are more people in purple areas on the map. And so once again, population density is a really helpful map for us to look today to be able to do the lesson. So to analyze how the geography affects population density, you will have to look at multiple maps. For example, if we look at this area on the population density map, it shows, I can tell, it has low population density. So the question comes up, why? Why are there not a lot of people living in this part? One suggestion could be maybe because this is a rural area. But if we look at the map that shows us the physical features, we notice that there are rocky mountains in this area right here on this map. So Rocky Mountains have high elevation. The climate is highland. That means it's going to be cold there. And remember, mountains are not really suitable for a lot of people habitation. There are not enough resources in the mountains. Mountains are rocks. It's going to be hard to build cities there, and it's going to be difficult to sustain a large population. So by looking at these three maps, we're now able to answer a question. Why in this area on this map, there are not a lot of people? All right, Bulldogs, now you can move on to your actual assignment where you will be comparing the maps and you will be answering question about what can explain why some parts of North America are highly populated and some parts barely have any people.